When head coach Antonio Pierce took over as the interim head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders last year, the team transformed into something completely different. The culture change was instant because Pierce was a great leader of men, so of course they went 5-4 down the stretch and excited the fans for this year, but it's disappointment as usual for Raider Nation. What happened? How did they go from 5-4 down the stretch last year to 2-7 and hard to watch the first 9 games of this year? Did Pierce forget how to coach? Do you think he got lucky when he pressed all the right buttons last year? This is really what he is as a head coach. Are the Raiders just unlucky because of all the injuries and things that are beyond their control? Or are they tanking because the strong finish last year put them in position to miss out on one of the top quarterbacks in this year's draft? If Pierce didn't bring the Raiders down the stretch hard like he did last year, he wouldn't have got the job. The Raiders would have been able to pick one of the top quarterback prospects though. Remember the end of last season? We were so sure the Raiders were going to find a way to trade up to get Jaden Daniels, whom Pierce coached at Arizona State in the draft. Pierce had him in the locker room after the season finale and everything, but the Washington Commanders didn't want to make a trade. No team in position to pick one of the top quarterback prospects wanted to trade down this year. The Raiders had a deal in place to get C.J. Stroud in 2023, but the way he played as a rookie made teams want to get their quarterback. Forget all that trading stuff. That seemed to be a big part of the Raiders' plan, but they can't make the Commanders trade. That's why I don't like mock trades, and I try my best to avoid doing them myself. It's up to the team you want something from, and it's not their job to help the Raiders win. Their job is to help their team win. And if you look at the teams outside the Chicago Bears, they picked their top quarterback prospects, and they're doing quite well for themselves right now. Without a top prospect at quarterback, the Raiders had to try to win the scrappy way like they did last year, but not with Aiden O'Connell. Tom Telesco was hired as a GM, and he had no interest in that. It became a full-blown rebuild the minute he was signed, and he signed Gardner Minshew, and he was going to be the starter. So what in the world made Telesco think Minshew would make things better? We all saw O'Connell gave the Raiders a scrapper's chance to win, and he's young. Minshew was on his 4th team in 6 years. Well, a scrapper's chance to win you a good 7 to 9 games and cause you to miss out on the top quarterback again. What do GMs like when they take over a team that isn't a good team already? They like high draft picks to start their rebuild with. Starting Minshew at quarterback makes sense if that's what he's looking for. He doesn't give you a scrapper's chance to win. If he did, he would have went to the playoffs with Micah Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, and the defense they had last year. The rest of the AFC West has quarterbacks now, so the Raiders got to get one. So they're going to go ahead and take a step back this year to take a step forward next year. When Minshew was first signed, I couldn't help but wonder what was going on. Now I can't help but believe it was a part of the tank job. It's one thing to sign Minshew and then see it's not working out, but why stay with them? In 8 games, Minshew's thrown for 1,500 yards, 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and a passer rating of 80.2. He has more interceptions than touchdowns so far, but he's going to remain the starter? I understand O'Connell's hurt now, but you went out and got Desmond Ridder, and you don't want to give him a chance? He's been with the team for about a month now, and he looked good throwing a touchdown pass in relief of an ineffective Minshew. If not Ridder, why not give rookie undrafted free agent Carter Bradley a shot? I'm trying to figure out how it makes sense to keep starting a guy that's thrown more touchdowns than interceptions and losing games. How does a guy that's playing that poorly give you the best chance to win? I understand the other guys are unknowns, but the known is horrible. This makes me believe winning isn't the objective for the Raiders at this time. Another reason for me to believe this is a tank job. I'm not into tanking personally. I think you can lose players that way. Look what happened with Devontae Adams. We'll see who else wants out at season's end. But if there's a guy out there that's worth it, it's Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders. He's the C.J. Stroud of this draft class. Like Stroud, his athleticism and upside are underrated, and he's the safest quarterback prospect as well as the best pure passer in this draft class. He has all the arm strength and accuracy he needs and really knows how to play the game from the neck up. His athleticism is underrated because he doesn't depend on it. That's because he was trained by none other than Tom Brady. He can process information quickly pre and post snap and gets through his progressions all the way to the check down. He plays the game like a pro already. Even while playing behind a bad offensive line, he's willing to wait in the pocket for his receiver to break open on longer developing routes. He throws a great deep ball too. All that, and he wants to be a Raider. He thanks God on X every time they lose. His father Deion Sanders wants him there too. I'm sorry, I just can't be convinced that the Raiders aren't tanking right now. I know Pierce is a first-time head coach, so there's going to be some game management problems. But he pressed all the right buttons and found a formula to win some games last year. What happened this year? He didn't lose his ability to press the right buttons. Telesco came in and paid Minshew to start, and he's been nothing but bad news all year long. He's been playing just as bad as Jimmy Garoppolo was last year, and they're staying with him? You think that's for the purpose of winning? Sorry, I don't. It's all about Shedeur Sanders in 2025. Thank you for watching. See you next time.